Team brief this month comes from the most successful A&E department in the northwest of England, and of course I'm talking about Wigan Infirmary. Soon I'm going to be meeting Stephen Gulliford. Stephen is a consultant physician here and the clinical director for acute medicine, and he'll be telling me about the department. As usual, there'll be 3 quiz questions. Number 1, why is this part of the department called AAA? Number 2, which member of staff is involved in renovating Silver Cross prams? And number 3, who's the most famous person he's met in the A&E department? It's been another good month for our main measures of quality. The latest mortality data we've got, which is for November last year, is 91.9. So that shows that we're about 8% better than the average in terms of our death rate. If we look at infections, as of today, we've reached 520 days since the last case of MRSA. And in January, there was just 1 case of C. diff and 2 of E. coli. Now, if you look at the C. diff chart, you can see here the lines for each of the last 4 years. The blue line was 3 years ago, the red line is 2 years ago, the green line last year, and purple this year, heading towards a new record low for the organisation of just 12 or 13 cases of C. diff in the entire year. So in terms of the serious harms in total, there were no never events, there were 3 serious infections, no pressure ulcers, 2 serious falls, no ventilator-acquired pneumonia and no central line infections. So a total for the month of a really good just 5. Here you can see the award-winning app, which enables us to look at the performance of our A&E department in real time wherever we are, and to project what's going to be happening over the next few hours. Now, this is the 6th best performing A&E department in the country, and you can see from this chart here that we're the best performing one in Greater Manchester, and indeed the only trust to still be achieving the 95% target for the whole year. So really well done to everybody who works in our unscheduled care system. Now, A&E waiting is not the only one we excel in. We also have waiting times targets for surgery, for diagnostics, and for people with cancer. And you can see from this chart here that once again, we are meeting all of those targets and doing far better than most of the rest of the NHS. The one area where we do face a real challenge is in our finances. And you can see from this information here that January was slightly better, but still another difficult month. And we are still projecting a year-end deficit of £5.7 million. We do hope that we can improve that in the final few weeks of the year, but there will certainly be a deficit, and the only saving grace is that other organisations around us are in the same boat or even worse. Continuing the mood of celebration in this team brief, I'm really pleased to say that we've got the latest National Staff Opinion Survey results, and they're the best the Trust has ever had. We're the top scoring trust in 12 out of 32 of the key questions, and no less than 80% of you would recommend WWL as a place to work or a place to receive treatment. Now, of course, there's still areas to improve, and 2 from this year's survey are first of all the reporting levels for near misses or incidents, which we'll have to improve, and the other is equal opportunities for BME staff. So those are the areas we'll be concentrating on for next year. Here I am now with Stephen Gulliford. Now, Stephen's been a consultant with the Trust for 5 years and is now the clinical director for acute medicine. Stephen is an acute physician himself and is also one of only 5 people in the Trust who hold a gold quality champions badge. So, Stephen, tell me, what are the main things that you and your team do?
Yeah, so my team of consultants and myself, we look after medical patients, adult patients, when they come from A&E all the way through to the assessment wards and the ambulatory assessment unit just behind A&E.
Okay, and what are the main problems and pressures that you face?
Increasing numbers of patients coming into hospital, increasing numbers of elderly complex patients coming into hospital, and increasing difficulties to actually move a lot of patients as quickly through the system as we'd like.
Sure.
Yeah.
And tell me, what are you most proud of?
So what I'm most proud of is the fact that as a trust we're continuing to achieve as one of the best trusts in Greater Manchester for unscheduled care that is moving patients swiftly and safely through A&E. I'm proud of our team. We work really well as a team. I think we provide really good, safe care. We've got very low numbers of complaints, low numbers of hospital-acquired infections, serious falls. I'm proud of all that, really. I'm proud of the ambulatory assessment unit, which has been visited by trusts from around the country to come and see it as an example of how to provide really good ambulatory care.
And now my 3 quiz questions for you.
Okay.
First of all, why is it called AAA?
So the term AAA is a medical term which refers to abdominal aortic aneurysm. And so we were trying to think, when we set up the ambulatory unit, what sort of title to give it that's catchy. So all doctors and nurses, everyone know AAA. So we called it the Ambulatory Assessment Area, or AAA, and that's really stuck.
Okay, good. And secondly, I believe that there's a member of staff here whose hobby is renovating Silver Cross prams. Who's that?
There is, yeah, one of the assistant practitioners, Val. She's been in the unit since it started, and she has done loads, actually, of making these little Silver Cross prams. They're really nice.
Okay.
On the sideline.
And finally, you know, you've been here for 5 years. Who's the most famous person you've met in our A&E department?
In the ambulatory unit, actually, it's got to be Angela Rippon, I'd say, when she came with the one show in September. She didn't dance to the unit, but she came. She was really nice, yeah.
Okay, well, Stephen Golliford, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's the end of this month's Team Brief.